excited. I'm about to lose control and I think I like it. And I think I like it. Cause it's Breakfast with Bob.
And Poncho Man, everybody. Ooh. Welcome to our championship edition of Breakfast with Bob at the beautiful Four Seasons Resort, Hualalai. My name is Bob Babbitt, brought to you by Master Spas, SFuels Go Longer, HOKA Let's Fly, deboer wetsuits, Form Smart Swim Goggles, Zoot Sports, original triathlon brand, Quintana, Premium Plus Sports, and of course our Challenged Athletes Foundation. She has been a 4-time silver medalist here at the Ironman World Championship, owns the 70.3 World Championship title from 2021, and is now the 2023 Ironman World Champion and course record holder, Lucy Charles-Barclay. That sounds sort of nice.
It sounds very good.
It's one of those things when you first come over to a place like this and you get second your first time out, you're like, okay, I got this. And then the next year's a second, and the next time. How hard was it to stay patient?
Yeah, I think over the years, like you said, in 2017, my first time out here, I came second, and I remember sitting talking to you after the race, and I was like, I know there's so many things I can improve on to win this race, and I felt like it was only a matter of time before I could come back and win, and I never thought it would take 5 attempts. So it is even sweeter to get that win when you've had to fight so hard over the years to get it.
I remember talking to Mark Allen, it took him 7 times. And he goes, you know, if I had won it earlier, maybe I wouldn't have stayed in the sport as long. Maybe it wouldn't have meant as much. If you had won it the first time, you might have gone, okay, I better go find another sport.
Yeah, I mean, that may have happened, definitely. It's something that's just kept me pushing and molded me into the athlete that I am today. And I'm thankful to the women that have really pushed me through my career to go and get the win like I did yesterday.
So Annie Hogg and you guys have battled. What, 2018, you get second, she gets third. 2019, she wins, you get second. Coming back here last year, you're in second place, she's in third. She's 30 seconds back. The really premier runner, she just broke the run course record. The premier runner in the sport is in your rearview mirror, and she is gaining. But all of a sudden, it got to a point where you held on to that 30 seconds. Was when you were running, were you feeling, oh my God, she's gonna get me?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember last year it felt like only a matter of time before Annie was going to come past, and I couldn't believe it when that gap was just holding strong and we were just neck and neck but not quite closing. And yeah, it was a big relief to get the second last year, and then I didn't want it to be deja vu this year. I was like, is she going to catch me? And I know the level of runner that she is, and I just had to hold so strong, and I didn't want to look over my shoulder.
Well, and you know, back there you had Chelsea Sodaro, the defending champion, Annie Hogg, Laura Phillip. You got so many great runners back there. You're like, look, let's talk about your run, 2:57, right? And you needed every second of that because you won by 3 minutes over Annie. What have you done on your run? Because you were also dealing, last year you had injury, this year you had injury. The hardest thing to do is put in quality run workouts when you're worried about aggravating an existing injury.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing from any injury is trusting your body again afterwards. And I definitely had a period where after breaking my foot this year, I was like, is it just going to break again when I start running? And we gradually built it up, and I started to feel pretty good on that run. And I came into this race quite confident that I would have a good run. And actually, I thought I would run a lot faster than that. At the end of the day, it didn't really matter, but I still feel like there's a little bit more in the tank for me on the run.
So you're on the bike, and then the unknown, Taylor Knibb, who 2-time 70.3 world champion, Olympian, just qualified for Paris. You know she's a great runner, great sight, great across the board. She was sort of sitting back there a little bit back further. I thought she was going to try to come up and bridge. Were you surprised she didn't?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I just love the tenacity that she came and raced, and she's never done an Ironman before, and she came to the biggest stage to do it. It's incredible to see, and she had an amazing debut, and the way that she put the day together on her first time, I think she should be incredibly proud, and I'm sure that it won't be long before she's sat here in the winner's seat, so fair play to her. But yeah, I guess I was riding really strong, and I felt confident in what I was doing, and Dan and Reese had a clear plan of what I needed to do, and I was just sticking to it, feeling good, and the gap was growing slightly, and every time I found out the gap was getting a bit bigger, you get that positive boost. I was like, what I'm doing is working, just keep doing it, and yeah, I was just super happy with the bike ride.
last year was so different because you'd finished second 3 times in a row. And last year you had been injured and were told, your season's over, forget about it. Coming here and getting second was like a victory. I was like, I didn't even know I was going to get here. Then you come away and you sort of end your season on the highest of highs. So when something like that happens and you come in this year, you can't think the same way, right? Even though you're dealing with injury, it's like, okay, second's not going to be good enough for me.
Yeah, it was quite hard coming into the race this year because I knew that I wanted that win so badly. But you can't go into any race that if you don't win, you've almost lost. So it was really tough. And even in my training, I was like, I know I'm doing all of this because I want to win this race so badly. And I was actually more quiet than normal because I just wanted to work away and almost have the attention off of me. There was confidence, there was nerves, there was still doubt in my mind because of the injuries that I've had. And I definitely wanted to get back to the shape that I was in 2021, and the injuries meant that was really, really tough, and I feel like I'm finally getting back to that shape.
In 2021, when you won 70.3 Worlds, basically same format, right? You led wire to wire. You look at that as, okay, I was so on that day, because you were. It was amazing watching you. You dominated the entire day.
Yeah, I'd still say that was my greatest performance.
Yeah.
Like I felt solid across the whole day, and even yesterday here, I felt solid on the swim, I felt solid on the bike, and then it was just survival on the run.
It's interesting. I remember years ago talking to Jan Frodeno, and when you're watching from the outside, everybody looks so in control. And I said, that looked like you were in control all day. He goes, I really wanted to drop out 16 times, and I saw my condo, and I'm like, that's not a bad place to be right now. During that marathon, what was going through your head? Because you had great runners behind you. Nobody knew, was Taylor going to be close that gap? Was she going to go backwards? There's Annie Hogg, there's Laura Phillip. Who knows how far back Chelsea is and how fast she can run?
Yeah, I mean, starting the run and hearing that it was Laura and Annie behind me, 2 of the premier runners, I was like, oh God, I don't really want it to be these women chasing me down. But I knew the gap was good, and I knew I needed to be confident in that. And then you had Taylor, who was a complete unknown. I didn't know how quick she could run, and the gap was growing slightly, so I was like, okay, I must be running pretty well. But I must have been just 5K in, and I remember saying to Reese, it's bad, it's really bad. My calf was completely gone. It actually went a mile in, it was cramping. And
1 mile in?
Yeah.
Oh.
And there were plenty of times where I thought that I might be walking the marathon, I might not even finish. But then I was looking down at my watch and I was like, the pace is still good, you're in a lot of pain, but you're still running quickly, you've just got to keep doing this. And I do remember thinking quite a long way in, like, no pain is going to be worse than not winning this when you've had such a gap off the bike. And I just had to ignore that pain as much as possible and dig super deep.
Coming out of the energy lab, that's when you see Annie, you see Taylor, you see everybody else coming down. And of course, you want to look great. You want them to think, forget about it. You should be thinking about second, because first is pretty much wrapped up. Coming up there, when did you see those guys and how did they look?
Yeah, everyone looked pretty good. I think everyone had their poker face on for sure. Like, you never know. Everyone looks solid. They're never going to give anything away. I think I even gave a little smile to Taylor, even though I was absolutely dying. So it's all mind games at that point. But you know everyone's struggling that deep into the race, and it's very tough for anyone to pick up the pace that late in the race as well. So you just have to stay strong in your own head, stick to your own strategy, and keep pushing all the way to the end.
When you go 8:24 and you break the course record, it's, nobody can take something like that away. You broke the course record with probably the deepest women's field in history. And not only did you come away with the win, but you shattered an existing course record. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels absolutely incredible. And obviously the previous record was Daniela Reef's, and I was second to her that year, and I was quite a way back. And she's definitely the athlete that has shaped my career. She's pushed me to be a better athlete and really made me work incredibly hard to get the win here. So I'm hugely thankful to her, and I even did apologise to her for breaking the course record. But yeah, really thankful to her and all of the women. Actually, they were amazing out there. The support and camaraderie in that energy lab, I felt like so many of the women really wanted me to win out there and were cheering me on. So that means a lot.
You guys, Annie, I know for sure. I think Laura trains in Lanzarote as well. What is it about that place? I mean, I was there once, and you have wind in your face going uphill. It's a brutal place, which probably mimics this pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, Annie and I both train at Club La Centra in Lanzarote, and there's no better place in the world to train. I think you see that from our performances. We can go there and do all of the work. It's just so easy, and the climate and conditions are brutal. It is arguably the hardest Ironman in the world. I'd say it is tougher than the Ironman here. So if you want a real test, go and do that Ironman.
You find out if you've got what it takes to be the best in the world. So now, is this become media time? Travel around, take care of sponsors? What happens now?
Yeah, I mean, my phone's completely blown up. I've had messages from, I feel like, everyone I've ever met in my life. I haven't replied to any of them yet, so sorry, but the support means everything. It just surprises me how many people's lives I've touched over the years, and I feel super grateful to have been able to do that and hopefully inspire them to take on challenges and never give up, because I didn't.
I always look at the person who wins the Ironman as a de facto leader of the sport, right? It's somebody, if you look back at Paul Newby-Fraser and Daniela Reef and Chrissy Wellington, they were the sort of leaders of the sport. And knowing you, I know you're going to embrace that role, because the idea is we had 2,000 great women out there yesterday. In 2 years, it could be 3,000 women out here, and being that person to help the sport grow, I'm guessing that's important to you.
Yeah, it definitely means a lot. I mean, over the years, we've tried to share our journey and inspire people, and it's not always easy. There's highs and lows. That is sport. But actually, you learn so much about yourself. You grow every single race that you do. So being able to have that platform is amazing. And I really do hope that the race yesterday and All Women's Day just showed how incredible women's sport is. And I'm sure we'll get many more women signing up in the future.
So we have a tradition here at Four Seasons Hualalai where the champion gets a special creation from Kalani Garcia, the executive chef here at the Four Seasons Hualalai. And I think we could probably get those out of here, get these out of here. Here you go, Hyde. Ladies and gentlemen, our chef, Kalani. Kalani, you want to go through exactly what we have here?
Just gave an interpretation of the flow of water while the long swim, which is your best event. So just wanted to showcase that. Congratulations.
It's amazing. Thank you
How
so much.
beautiful is this, everybody? Our Ironman World Champion for 2023, Lucy Charles-Barclay, and she says everybody can eat this with her.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it, 'cause it's breakfast with Bob.